So today we are going to see what is a contract. What is a contract? An agreement enforceable by law is a contract. Every promise and every set of promises forming the consideration for each other is an agreement. The agreement must create legal obligations between the parties is an enforceable. Contract. It is an undertaking by a firm or a person to do any work under certain terms and conditions. Contractor. A person or a firm who undertakes any type of contract. Arranging contractor. Contract for a work is arranged by inviting sealed tenders by issuing tender notices. So let us now look at the initial decisions need to be taken before a contract. Side investigations should have revealed ground conditions. Decisions will have been taken on the way design is to be carried out. A planning supervisor will have been appointed. Decisions will have been taken on the breakdown of construction into different contract packages to suit capabilities of potential tenders for civil works, land suppliers, etc. Environmental studies will have been undertaken and requirements assessed. Initial project programs will have been produced to indicate the sequences of construction. Financial planning will have been completed to ensure funds will be available, and at last the approvals need to be conducted. Types of contracts: lump sum contract, lump sum and schedule contracts or item rate contract, labor contract, target contract, materials supply contract, piece work agreement, cost reimbursement contracts, cost plus fixed fee contract, cost plus percentage contract, cost plus fluctuating fee contract, percentage rate contract. Lump sum contract. So these are also called drawings and specifications contract. The contractor agrees to perform a stipulated job of work in exchange for a fixed sum of money. Now, to complete this particular type of contract, all aspects within a specified time for a fixed amount is done. Payment may be staged at intervals of time on the completion of milestones of the work. Deposit of 10% of security money is taken by the department. The contractor is responsible for preparing his bill of quantities. On completion of the work, no detailed measurements of different items of work is required. Lower financial risk to employer. Higher financial risk to contractor. Advantages: the financial price is known by the owner before the work starts. The contractor has more incentive to reduce his cost to increase the profit. The contractor hopes to complete the job as quickly as possible to minimize overhead, to maximize profit, and to move to the next. When level of risk is low and quantifiable, when the client does not wish to be involved in the management of his project, that can be accurately and completely described at the time of bidding, such as residential and building construction, when limited variation is needed. Disadvantages: changes in drawings and specifications can be very expensive, and the source of trouble can occur. In other words, the contract has very limited flexibility for design specifications and changes. The contractor carries much of the risks. The tendered price may include high risk contingency. Competent contractors may decide not to bid to avoid a high risk lump sum contract. Lump sum and schedule contract. Now, in this type of contract, the schedule of rates is also provided in the contract agreement. Measurement of extra items only shall have to be taken. The original work is, however, should be checked and compared. The contract, however, includes a fixed sum within a fixed time along the detailed specifications and conditions and the perfect rates. Schedule contract. The contractor undertakes the execution or construction of a work on the item based on rates. The payment to the contractor is made by detailed measurement of different items of work actually done by the contractor. The amount the contractor receives depends on the number of items of work done. The contract agreement includes quantities, rates, amount of various items of work. It also includes the 10% security money and penalties. Item rate contract may also be a percentage above or below the printed schedule of rates of the department, used for repair and maintenance works or under conditions of urgency. Estimated quantities are surveyed by either an engineer or an architect. Contractors enter unit prices against the estimated quantities of work, useful on projects where the nature of the work is well defined, but the quantities of work cannot be accurately determined in advance of construction for highways, dams, and airports. It is also known as unit price contract. Advantages and disadvantages. For basis for completion, in comparing the lump sum contract, there are two types of changes. First, changes in contract documents can be made easily by the owner. Second, lower risk for contractor. The exact financial price or the final price of the project is not known to the owner until the completion of the project. Labor contract. All materials for the construction are arranged and supplied at the site of the work by the department or by the owner. The labor contractor engages the labor and gets the work done according to the specifications. The contract is on item rate basis for labor purpose only. The contractor is paid for the quantities of work done on measurement of the defined items of work at the stipulated rate in the agreement. Contractor uses his own tools for working. The plans and machineries are arranged by the department or the owner. This system of contract is not generally adopted in government but preferable for private sector. Material supply contract. In this type of contract, the contractors have to offer the rates for supply of the required quantity of materials, inclusive of all taxes, carriage and the delivery charges of materials to the particular site within the time fixed in the tender. Cost plus percentage contract. In this particular system, the contractor is given certain percentage over the actual cost of the constructions as his profit. The contractor arranges the materials and labor at his cost and keeps proper account. He is paid by the department by profit of 10% as his profit as agreed upon before. Advantages. Construction can start before design is completed. If the contractor is efficient in the use of resources, then the cost to the client should represent a fair price for the work undertaken. Disadvantages. The project total cost is completely unknown before the start of the project. Here, the owner must exercise tight cost control, which may be difficult or costly. Minimum efficiency maximizes the profit. Cost plus fixed fee contract. In this type of particular contract, the contractor is paid by the owner and agreed lump sum amount over and above the actual cost of work. Cost plus fluctuating fee contract. In this type of particular contract, the contractor is paid by the owner the actual cost of the construction plus an amount of fee inversely variable according to the increase or decrease of the estimated cost agreed first by both the parties. Factors influencing the choice of the type of contract. First, the appropriates for providing an adequate incentive for efficient performance by the contractor. Second, the ability to introduce changes. Third, the allocation of risk. Fourth, the start and the completion date of the project. Contract document. Title page. Name of the work and contract bond should be maintained, and the number also. Index page. The content of the agreement with page references should be maintained. Tender notice. Giving brief description of work. Usually 2% of the estimated cost is deposited along with the tender. Tender form. The contractor's rates and the time of the completion, penalty, clause, etc. are being mentioned. Bill of quantities. Giving quantities and rates of each item of work and the total cost of the whole work is mentioned. Schedule of issue of materials. Giving list of materials to be issued to the contractor with rates and place of issue. General specifications. Specifying the class and the type of the works done. Detailed specifications. Each item of work and of each materials to be used in the work. Drawings. Complete set of drawings like plans, elevations, etc., site plans or fully dimensioned are mentioned. Conditions of a contract. Rates including materials, labors are considered. Amount of security money deposited. The time for the completion of the total work. Progress to be maintained throughout the work. Penalty given for bad work. Mode of payment. Extension of time for delay of the work. Termination of the contract. Compensation to labor and wages.